F1 in 2024.
The wait is over in Bahrain, and we are just hearing that the starting grid is on the look for a new driver. Who will it be?
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting shit.
And radio is good.
Here we go.
The Grand Prix is underway.
What a dramatic start. Can you believe it?
Lights feel like they're gonna bleed.
Yes!
Spun out of my
Oh, he's lost it.
Pop out, guys. That's it.
The pit lane's going to be alive now. They're all in.
on my own. Here we go. I'm set on an overdrive. On my own. Here we go.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing.
Out of the final corner. And here's our winner today.
Can you beat me?
What a race. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the fans.
Welcome in, everybody, to tonight's race. We are in Saudi Arabia for the penultimate round of Prowler Racing League's third season on F1 24. Tonight's race is 27 corners, a very long, narrow track, which should give very interesting opportunities for everyone to go side by side. But you got to watch out for those walls because they will come up very quick. Drivers are going to be going fast around this track. We'll hope that nobody has any issues. So let's get into it. We'll head on over to our intermission screen. Before we get going here, as a reminder, taking a look at the calendar, this is the penultimate round in Saudi Arabia. Next weekend, we are in Abu Dhabi. Right now, the current driver standings, some good Salt out in front, which is very interesting because Salt is not here tonight. This gives a huge opportunity for Zaluxy to close in and try to get that lead with Vanilla supporting Zaluxy, or you never know, teammates actually might work against each other and not let things go the way they should. With the standings then, Racing Bulls out in front, 210 to Haas's 201. So it is advantageous for both of the Haas drivers to work together to score as many points possible because they can take over both championships after tonight's race. So let's get into the session now and see how everyone is doing. Bring up our leaderboard and our driver lap timing. Looks like the first car out on track is Dynamic, but he is out on inters. This is a strategy he usually does, just get a feel for conditions before slapping on the soft tires to get a proper run-in. So we're actually going to... Next car on the track behind Dynamic is DRL Racer X. Let's head on down to them. Oh, once again, we have one individual not having their telemetry turned on. Let's see here. Purple first sector. or DRL. Coming around to turn 26 and 27 to finish the lap here. Let's see what DRL Racer is going to be our first car setting a proper time. Dynamics still out on those intermediates. DRL setting a time of 1:29.490. We got next individual coming through, Boogie. Personal best in the first two sectors. He comes into the pits, aborts the lap. So next up is going to be our infamous player in the Alpine. Dangerously close to track limits there. Sets fastest time, 1:27.144. All right, next up for a car that is setting a time is going to be Vanilla. Looks like Vanilla burning hard at ERS. Invalidated, unfortunately. Got reds all there. So next up is we're going to head down to AO. Oh, there, past him. Burning away across the line. Up to P4 with a 1:34.03. Next up is going to be Echo. Head down by him. Nope. Very crossed the line. We were too slow. All right. We got all of our drivers with their times turned on or their telemetry set correctly, so now we can see everybody. We're going to be on board here with Zaluxi on an out lap. So we can just see how she is going to be going around to check. Make sure. Conditions of the track are going to be ideal for when she finally sets a fastest lap time. Looks like we may have lost Dragonflies. He's great out there, so he may have retired from the session. So as Luxie's making around the final corners here, she's going to be starting her flying lap. Let's stay on board or on with her car. Watch the time tick away. Going through turn 4, turn 5. Car's getting a little squirrely. Going through this whole complex at 150 miles per hour. Fastest. Through that first sector for her. It is showing as a green sector on the timing. Let's see how well this does. Quickly going through the complex here through turn 19 and 20. There are several corners here, 27 in total. A lot of it is very much just feels like back and forth chicanes all the way down these long straights. Curves more likely. They're not exactly straight. The only straight is the main straight, which Zaluxi is coming up to. Speeding up to the start-finish line to set a time of 1:28.007. That puts her up to P2 behind Mr. Chris with a 1:27.144. Let's head down to Corey. Has not set a time yet. Now he has with 1:29.818. So currently our only drivers who have not set a time is Dragonflies and Hayden. Let's go. We'll hang with Hayden here for a second. So far, nobody's setting any faster times. Everybody's setting yellow sectors. Hayden getting out of the way of the quick Haas that's coming through. And now, as this is his outlap, he is making sure that the line he chooses is going to be ideal to set down a time. As you can see, a couple cars are in the pits right now. A few cars have invalidated their laps, which you would think is surprising with being a street circuit and the walls being right there, that you're crossing the lines to invalidate. Dynamic with the 1:30.013. In the heat in the tires, getting warmed up. He's got a complete clear track behind him. The Haas ahead of him. And the Ferrari looks like they may be coming into the pits, so Hayden's going to have a clear track ahead of him. Just under 6 minutes left in qualifying. Hayden hammering down. Start that stopwatch. Let's see what he can do. Looks like Hayden may have actually had been accidentally deploying his battery during his outlap. He's not going to have a full battery to attack this lap. Let's see what he can do with it. Dynamic. Personal best in the first two sectors. He's coming around trying to improve his position. Currently P9. Moves up to P7 with a 129.503. Hayden sets a personal best. First sector. Coming around to the final corners. Crucial to get the entry and the exit just right. Puts the power down. Pushing hard. See where this moves him up to. P10 for Hayden with a 129.931. Got AO behind. Coming through. Personal best, first and middle sectors. Coming across the line. AO does not improve position, but does improve his time with a 130.157. Next car on track is Dynamic. Looks like he did invalidate. So he's probably going to come in pit saying he is invalidating on that lap. He'll come in, recuperate, get back out there. Looks like Hayden may have had an incident out on track. He's not moving anymore. And he is retired from the session, so he must have had an oops going through there. We got a Red Bull coming through. It's not Echo. Color dots on this game are a little tricky to see who is who. Actually, might be AO. Who hasn't validated. Yeah, he's staying clear. Stake of Corey goes past. Stay with him for a second. As he's coming around final corners. Let's see what he can do on this lap. It's going to get those tires up to temperature. Cross line and start that stopwatch. Boogie with a 129.415. Oh, and Corey invalidates. Unfortunate. Next up is Mr. Chris is actually setting a purple middle sector, but I'm pretty sure that might be is not a timed lap. It is not. But you're going to stick with him. Currently is our pole setter. Currently have 8. Nope. All of our cars out on track except for the 2 that retired out. Let's watch here as Mr. Chris starts his final lap. Going through turn 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Like I said, this is very much a chicane-filled track. Very high-speed chicanes, but chicanes nonetheless. Mr. Chris does not improve in his first sector. Actually got a car off to the side there. Might be one of the Haas's getting out of the way of Mr. Chris. Doesn't look like Mr. Chris is going to be improving too much on his time. So as we go through, DRL Racer has finished his laps. So has Boogie. Mr. Chris making up a whole lot of time. Unfortunately, puts it right into the wall. Validates the rest of that time. He was flying through that second sector. Let's head on board with Zaluxy. Zaluxy flying right now. Purple, first sector. She's going to try to get past Mr. Chris here to try to pip him for pole. Let's see what happens. Invalidated it. No. Unfortunate. She did have a personal best on that middle sector, but invalidated it. You can tell she's frustrated. So the only car still really setting a time is nobody. Everybody's coming to the pits. The only car we would have thought of possibly seeing would have been C9. But that pretty much wraps it up for everybody. Unfortunate. So let's get a little bit until everybody either finishes or retires out. There we go. Now the game's letting it go. So that is your qualifying session with Mr. Chris on pole, followed by Zaluxy. Oh, I gotta screenshot this one. Screenshot. There we go. Echo, Vanilla, Corey, DRL Racer X, Dynamic, Boogie, C9, Hayden, and AO with Dragonflies bringing up the rear. Real quick, we're going to do a little bit of intermission time to get some graphics made up. All right. And right now, all the drivers are currently getting their strategy set. Tonight we'll not be running a formation lap. We have a couple issues that are coming up through the game, but here is your grid while we wait for everybody to start. So Mr. Chris out front, followed by Zaluxy. Echo in P3 with Vanilla P4. Those hosses are going to have to work together to score as many points as possible. Corey P5. That's a great result for him. Drill Racer P6 missed out on getting that last flying lap by about 4 seconds. So he will be starting P6. Dynamic P7. Boogie P8. Followed by his teammate C9 in P9. Then we got Hayden P10. AO in 11th. Followed by Dragonflies in P12. So we are currently waiting for the drivers to get their strategies set. The Haas is probably working together to make sure that they both can score as many points as possible. It is critical for them to do so to wrap up the championship. Waiting for our current lobby admins to let everybody know when we're going racing. It's probably going to be another 2 more minutes. So in the meantime, we can, again, look at our calendar. Penultimate round in Saudi Arabia. Next weekend, we're in our final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. Our driver standings right now, like I said, Salt's not here tonight, so this is Zaluxi's chance to try to take the lead. It's mathematically, it's not possible, but she can close that gap. Even if Zaluxi wins it and gets fastest lap, that's only 26 points out of Salt's lead of 33. But if she can do it, that's going to bring it down to the wire for next week. And here we go. It is race time. The lights are up, lights are out, and away we go. Again, we're not doing formation lap tonight, so we are live. A little bit of chaos going through turn 1 there. Chris getting shuffled back to P3. Zaluxi out front. We have a yellow flag already. Looks like it might have been one of the Mercedes. Mr. Chris getting right past Echo, back up to P2. Chris is on the medium, whereas Echo and Zaluxi are on that soft. Looks like from the start of the race, looks like Hayden had the worst of it. Already getting warnings and a yellow flag. Back to green racing. We're on board with Chris as he's hunting down Zaluxi. Oh, big moment there. Chris is, oh no. Boogie gets wrapped up in that. Corey is knocked out. Huge moment there for Mr. Chris. Unfortunately, taking out Corey and Boogie. Of course, Chris has wing damage there. Full safety car is now out. Very big moment there for Corey and Boogie. They had nowhere to go, unfortunately, at this track with the walls and a car that's completely sideways on track. That was crazy. Chris coming into the pits, very odd. Almost comes to a complete stop before crossing the line. Not sure what happened there. He's going to come in and get that front wing changed. No, he's not. Just tires. Still sitting there. Car is now gone. There might have been another car in the pit lane ahead of him. What is happening there? His car is glitching out almost. Oh, Chris has retired. Retired in the pit lane. He must have had way more damage than we thought. Oh, yeah. 100% rear wing damage. And looks like floor damage he had as well. So Chris retiring out there makes sense. Trying to drive a car on this track with no rear wing and floor damage and side pod damage. Completely understandable. So we are now under safety car conditions. We have lost 3 of our 12 starters. Very, very unfortunate. So we will go down the order here. Zaluxi, P1, Echo, P2, Vanilla, P3, C9, the lone surviving Ferrari, P4, AO, P5. Then we got Dynamic, P6, our reserve driver, Dragonflies, P7, DRL Racer 8, or Razor X in 8th, with Hayden in P9. Very crazy turn of events there. So as we go through here, Hayden started P10, now 9th. Zero Racer moving down the order. Dynamic into the pits. No damage on his car, but it looks like he might just be swapping out tires. Is he deserving a penalty? Must be. If he did receive a penalty, I missed it. He's back out on track, so he went medium, so he's going to have to pit again. Question about restarts. Unfortunately, because we do not have a disconnect problem, we cannot restart the session. So Dynamic started 7th, now P8. We got DRL 6th to 7th. Big movers, Dragonflies. AO. P5. C9 P4. Vanilla P3. Echo P2. Zluxy P1. So with the way our league has restarts set is that if there's a mass disconnect issue that affects multiple drivers and not just one, we do not restart. If the league did a restart for every individual issue that may have happened on track, we'd be here all night. Safety car is ending. Zluxy backing up the field. Waiting. And Zluxy gets a bit of a jump there on Echo. Vanilla going for a move on the inside of Echo. Makes it. So both Haas's are out in front. So now the key is for them to work together to score as many points as possible. We got C9 hunting down Echo. Not much going on there. AO with Dynamic going side by side through this chicane section. Oh, AO having to take evasive maneuver around the outside. He's going to slow up. Falls right into the back. Whoa, very aggressive. Oh, very aggressive contact there. Not sure what happened there. VSC, Zero Racer with no wing on there. He's going to neutralize the field. VSC ending. Zluxy going to try to maintain that lead. Let's go on with Echo. He hunts down Vanilla. Another safety car. It looks like we lost Hayden. So this is going to bunch up the field. Got a bunch of drivers up front there taking advantage of the safety car and pitting. So let's check here for what we got for penalties. Oh, looks like Dragonflies has a drive-through penalty. Bunch of warnings for everybody else. So it looks like everyone has pitted, although we do know that Dynamic pit twice for mediums, so he's actually going to have to pit again. Looking at the data here, we have Hayden definitely retired for an incident. As we go here, back to the interval ahead. Our final cars that are still running is Dynamic P1, Zaluxy P2, Echo P3, Vanilla P4, C9 P5, AO P6, and Dero Racer P7. Lap 7 of 25. Currently under safety car conditions. Safety car is in this lap. All the cars, fresh tires except for Dynamic out in front, who's on 4-lap old mediums. Let's see what the field can do. Zeluxy not making a big move there in dynamic. Oh, Zeluxy, big damage there. Out of the race. Virtual safety car is set. Zeluxy, unfortunately, not going to be close in on Some Good Salt. Echo out front, P1. Half a second back to Vanilla. Both on hards, Dynamic on the mediums. Echo right behind Vanilla, going for a move on the inside on the front straight. Going to turn one. Echo takes the lead away from Vanilla. Vanilla's going to stay right on the back side of Echo. Vanilla staying right on the back of Echo. Has way more battery than Echo. Echo down to 36%. Vanilla at a healthy 76%. Gets past. This is going to be a back and forth battle between them. Vanilla's going to have to defend Echo that will have DRS. Vanilla staying out in front. Next small battle is going to be C9 and AO staying very close together. Dynamic pitting in the back. More than likely going to head to the hard tires, as you have to have two different compounds during the race. C9 staying ahead of AO. Almost about 30 seconds back as we got Dynamic. Went on to mediums again. Interesting strategy there from Dynamic. Let's see what happens. Get a little squirrely there out of the exit for C9. Ooh, quick move to the inside there for AO. He's going to try to defend that inside, but C9, oh, goes super wide. Had to back way out of it. Does a fantastic spin move to get going again. Unfortunately, that is going to cause him to be pretty far back from AO now. So we're going to go back to the close battle between Echo and Vanilla. Lap 14 of 25. Vanilla staying close to Echo. Going for a move on the outside. Can they make it stick? Side by side, going through that last corner. Vanilla gets ahead with DRS. It's going to cause Echo to have to burn little battery that he has to stay with Vanilla. Vanilla just has to try to put the hammer down. Stay ahead. Dynamic putting in a fast lap right behind. Purple first sector, personal best middle sector. Dynamic going for that fastest lap extra point. Burning that battery. Coming across the line. Still could not get that away from Zaluxy. Dynamic's going to try again. C9 with a corner cut warning. Vanilla ricocheting off the wall there. Dynamic retired from the session. Started with 12, down to 4. These street circuits are not kind to our drivers. As you saw in the opening salvo, drivers going sideways on the track is no good. We lost 3 cars off that first incident. Then a few other drivers lost their way, hitting the walls, breaking wheels off, and wings. This is going to be a race of attrition. 10 laps left to go. Vanilla and Echo swapping positions once again. Vanilla going to score some healthy points here. AO right behind Vanilla by about 10 seconds is going to try to catch up in these next 10 laps. Try to get more points to keep the Racing Bulls ahead of Haas. But at this point, Haas is going to take a chunk out of that lead. Great aerial shot coming into turn 26 into 27. Vanilla right on the tailpipe of Echo. Go and get that DRS as we go through. Wing is wide open. Going for a move on the outside. Vanilla takes the lead. Again, another swap for the lead between the top two. Vanilla flying 180 miles per hour coming up to turn 13. That banked corner gives a little bit of extra movement going through. Unfortunately, looks like C9 retired from the session. So we're down to now 3 cars. This attrition has turned into bad juju. So now it's going to be between Echo and Vanilla up front, with AO doing his damnedest to catch them up. 15 seconds behind. Unfortunately, that gap has gotten bigger, not smaller, since the last time we checked. So we're just going to stay on board with these 2 cars up front. After the chaos that we've had at multiple street circuits, we actually may be reconsidering doing street circuits for next season. Unfortunately, a lot of times, incidents like these happen because drivers aren't aware of what's happening ahead. A lot of times it's down to seat time. Drivers do not practice enough. Small mistakes have drastic consequences. So as we go around turn 27, our 2 top cars putting on a great show for us, having DRS swaps back and forth. Echo still has lower battery than Vanilla. Vanilla swipes by into P1 going into turn 1. We are now on lap 20 of 25. Looks like AO's in the pits putting on soft tires. Got a full battery. We may be seeing AO trying to go for that fastest lap, which is currently held by our Zaluxi, who retired out. Fastest lap currently is a 1:31.628. AO's fastest lap so far is a 1:32.982. So let's see if he can actually get that fastest lap away from Zaluxi and give an extra point to the Racing Bulls. Echo's DRS swings wide open, goes for the move on the inside. 5 laps left to go. Echo is your new leader, swipes through the inside into turn 1. Let's head on over to AO. Watching him coming around the last sectors here. So far, this isn't technically an outlap for him. Let's watch. And hopefully not have a commentator curse as AO tries to steal away the fastest lap from Zaluxi. Ooh, purple first sector. AO going very well. Vanilla takes the lead before they get onto that front straight. Echo takes it right back. 4 laps left to go. AO flying through the second sector. Personal best. Still a 10th faster than Zaluxy. AO. Fastest lap for AO. Extra point for the Racing Bulls. Great effort there from AO. Now he just has to bring it home. Lap 22 of 25. Let's head back up to our 2 cars that are up at the front racing each other super hard. Vanilla vying for that top spot. As it stands right now, I believe if they finish in the positions they are right now, Haas only closes in by about 2 points. So Vanilla getting that lead needs to stay in front of Echo for the next few laps to score even more points. At this point, it's not going to be enough to take the championship lead. That's going to bring it down to the last race of the season. And unfortunately, our nearest contender against Some Good Salt, who is our championship leader currently, is out of the race. Zaluxy crashed out. Echo went wide there back. Gap got a little bit bigger, so now it's down to Vanilla just putting the hammer down. Staying ahead of Echo, keeping it out of the walls. We got AO's teammate in the chat, cheering him on. Echo closing it right back up again. Let's check to see what everybody's ERS levels are at. You can kind of see it there on the timing board. 2 laps left to go. Vanilla is about 70% battery. Echo 63, so they're almost equal on battery. Tires are exactly the same age-wise. Let's check their wear. So it looks like Echo is a little bit worse tire wear on the front compared to the rears, but Vanilla's got better wear in the front compared to the rears. So they're pretty much evenly matched going for these last couple laps. Keeping them right in the proper tire temperatures. Going good there. Only warnings, no penalties for either driver, so it is straight up racing head to head. This is going to be a close battle to the end. Echo going for the move on the outside, moves back towards the inside, braking into turn 27. The exit is key here for Vanilla. Echo, DRS, not open. Still not open. There it is. Nope. Bravo to Echo for making that pass without DRS open. Vanilla staying right on the tailpipe. We are on the final lap here. Hopefully neither car makes a mistake, puts it into wall like so many others before them. Vanilla falling away slightly. Slowly gaining it back through those braking areas or where they left the throttle. Vanilla deploying. They're both deploying. Echo down to 34% on his ERS. Vanilla just a hair bit more. Now they're even. Vanilla going for a move on the inside. Makes the move. And I believe where the detection zone is for the ERS. Vanilla! Across the line, P1. Echo P2. And your last running car out of the 12 that started. AO. Bringing around that last sector. Bringing it home. AO bringing home some points for the team. Great effort there into P3. Your driver of the day is also AO. That was a great race from our finishers. Great race earlier for some of our drivers before they had unfortunately collected the walls. Very unfortunate for a lot of situations. As the drivers are putting champagne on each other. We'll wrap up this session. Get a screenshot of the finish. And with that, we finished the penultimate race of the season. It was a chaotic street circuit race. Some chaos within the league after some incidents happened. Unfortunately, some of our drivers need to review the rules and how we handle things in this league. So unfortunately, majority of our field did not finish, but Vanilla P1 followed by Echo and AO, who also collected Driver of the Day and Fastest Lap. Next week, we are in Abu Dhabi for the final. It's going to come down to the wire for Some Good Salt to defend against Zeluxy and Vanilla for the Drivers' Championship. And Salt with AO defending against those Haas's who closed in just a little bit more after tonight's race. Thanks for coming in, everybody. We will see you guys next week at Abu Dhabi. And everybody who's still on my Twitch, we're going to do admin stuff afterwards. So have a great night, everybody. And we will see you guys next week. See ya.